Hello, hello, wonderful people of the internet. It is I, Dreaming Tabitha, once again, coming at you with another episode of teaching YouTubers how to paint. Tonight should be so much fun, as it always is, because you just never know what exactly is going to happen and how the paintings are going to turn out. But every time they always turn out beautiful, wonderful, and happy. And so glad to see everybody here. And if you would, go ahead and hit that like button for me if you've enjoyed the show thus far. We've only been a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds into it, but come on, you want to, and I would be greatly appreciative of it. But yes, absolutely. And I just love that intro. I could just listen to it over and over again. It's kind of a theme song for me. It's like, just get back up again, just keep on going. I see my goal. I'm just going to rise up and go get it one more time. Just eyes on the prize. But anyway, yeah, if you are new here, I am Dreaming Tabitha. I am an artist here on YouTube. I enjoy painting, trying to dabble in a little bit of sculpting, watercolor, drawing. I go live on Thursday evenings now. Went live last night, and we're creating a fantasy world in a journal that a subscriber purchased and sent to me. And so I just decided that in a way I wanted to give back to the people that support me here on this channel and like I said, subscribe to the channel. And so we every Thursday now around 8:30ish are going to start creating this world. We've already created two different kinds of dragons. We've got Feigl, and then last night we created Tuerto. He is a taco truck dragon. And if you are curious as to know what in the world, how in the world, then you need to look at the live from yesterday evening. But let's just go ahead and get into it. We've got a wonderful guest for this evening. It's really no surprise because her face was plastered all over the intro, but we are going to welcome my nerdy home.
Hi.
Also known as Steph. Now, I feel weird. Like, how do you want me to refer to you? Because like growing up and my, I guess you could say in my culture, we don't address people informally until we know them. Like, do you like, do you want to be called Steph?
Call me Steph.
Call you Steph. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously on the internet, you're known as my nerdy home.
My nerdy home.
And I am curious to know exactly how that name came about. If you don't mind, I'd love to hear that before we get started with our turtle painting. Like, what? My nerdy home. I love it. Mm-hmm. It's cute. It gets kind of to the point, but at the same time, how did you come up with my nerdy home?
Well, like in every single place that I lived, I've owned two homes, and in those homes, it's just like my nerdiness throughout it. I don't hide it. Hide it. You walk into my house, you see it. And like mixed in with like the small speckles of nerdy stuff is like just some very zen things too. So it's a kind of odd combination of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sprinkled everywhere. You know, what's up, Jai? You know what you're getting when you come into my house. So yeah, it's funny because someone else told me that and it's someone with a house that's just like filled with nerd gear, and it's just crazy, and they wanted to start an Instagram with just showing off like all their stuff, you know, all their nerdy stuff in their house, and they wanted to call it My Nerdy Home, and it was already taken. And it was so funny that I was just like, oh my god, that's me.
Right. They're like, that's
like, we finally meet years later.
So it's
I
you.
took the name you wanted.
That's how fascinating, because the fact that there's billions of people in the world and you happen to run into the person that also wanted that name. I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think that would make a great welcome mat for a house. Like, there's obviously plenty of nerds in our community. And so my nerdy home. But yeah, well, so we all know
me my nerdy herm or something like that.
Herm. Is that what do they call it? The derp or whatever version of that? But obviously, if you guys, by the way, just let you know, her information is in the description box below. So if you've been living under a rock, if you're not part of the community and you don't know who Steph is, you can check out her Twitter page, her YouTube channel, and her Twitch channel as well. We'll get more into that as we go along. But if you've seen her around the internet, you may have come to find out that she has a love for turtles. And so when I asked her to be on the show, I'm like, hey, do you like it? Will this work? And it's a happy little turtle, super fun. So this is what we're going to get started with. Let me go ahead and rearrange us here. Let me see to get this larger here. It makes it a little bit easier. TD says that Steph is awesome.
Thank you, TD.
So this is my original piece here, and we're just going to kick that off to the side. We'll bring him back a little bit. Okay. And how we're going to get started, Steph is already, let me rearrange that there. Steph is already a little bit ahead of me because I sent her like a stencil, and she had a funny story with that. My stencil did not go through properly, and so it only had like the backside of the turtle, and we're like, all right, we'll make this work somehow. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and place it on here and then catch up to where you're at. And again, there's no wrong way to do this. Now, while I'm doing this, let me just go ahead and ask, do you have any like artistic background? Have you ever done painting before?
I've done one of those, what is it, like you paint while you drink wine?
Oh, paint sips. Yeah
I've done one of those, and that's it as far as painting. That's
not bad. I used to work at one of those shops.
Okay.
It's kind of where all of this kind of started, like for me myself, is like this. I actually started teaching thanks to 2020. I started teaching online this thing to kids, minus the wine, of course. And as far as I know, I'm not in their house, but and then I was just like, I have enough skills with this. I think I could teach virtually. I could teach other adults how to do this, and it's just kind of been super fun being able to get to know people. So you have painted. So that's
just one thing,
good.
And it was like a tree. That was it. It was a
tree.
It was like a Halloween tree at night. And it was years ago.
Okay. Well,
that's the only thing I've ever done.
Well, it's always nice to have a little bit of a background. I'm just going to kind of quickly sketch this out. I can always clean this up later. So that's the great thing about acrylic paint here, is that I don't know if they told you that when you were painting, but you can always cover it up because it dries really quickly.
Ooh,
so
good.
That's always a nice thing to have. I'm just going to basically do a quick rough sketch of all of this just so that I know where everything's at. And then, like I said, we can always clean things up as we go along. But we get our basic gist here. And so, do you have turtles? Is that where this love of turtles has come from?
I wish I had turtles. No, I don't have any turtles. But I loved the Ninja Turtles growing up. And I just, look, so I loved Ninja Turtles growing up. And I love baby sea turtles, but my ultimate love is tortoises. Like tortoises, their faces, they look like old people.
They do look like old people.
They look like old people. And the noises that they make, like when I pet my first like giant tortoise, it was like I started crying. It was the best experience I've ever had. And it moved its neck up. They had such long necks, and it moved its neck up because I was like really reaching down to try and touch it. It moved its neck up to like come to me so I could touch it even better.
That's sweet.
And the noises that they make, little noises, they kind of like breathe, like they're literally like they're like old people. And it's so cute. And I love how long they live, because they have such long lifespans. And like it's so interesting to find out like how long they live, and they can live for, it's like if you get a tortoise, or they're like generational pets, that can be passed out. It's so neat. I love how long that they've lived. And it's like, damn, if they were aware,
Right.
they'd be like, dude, you've seen it all, huh? You've just seen it all.
Right.
You've been here for so long. You've just seen it all. It's just so really interesting. So
I love the way you put that, a generational pet. Like, that
yeah,
is such a unique way to put it. Now, I did not know that turtles made noise, to be
they
honest.
do. Yeah, especially
Um,
like the giant tortoises. They make noise.
well, that makes a lot of sense because have you ever noticed that the older humans get, the more vocal they are about their opinions?
Yeah.
And like when Drunk 3PO says that Steph loves old people, that's what it sounded like to me.
Very
But
sweet. They're very sweet.
some
Sweet
of
old
them,
people.
I tell you what, some
Sweet
of them
old people.
though.
And
But while
then
we'll go
and I
ahead.
like that they put up with no nonsense.
This
That's
is
how you
true.
do
This
it.
is what my grandmother said. She
Yeah.
just celebrated 83 years today, and she told me that she feels that she's at the age where she can share her opinion, and it's okay because she's been through a lot. So I'm like,
Exactly.
you just
No
want to be like, you
nonsense,
get them,
people.
girl. So
Yeah.
I don't know what colors came with your palette, but I have, just so the chat is aware as also, I have my primary colors, and then I've created like a kind of like a light blue, but I mixed a little bit of yellow in it to give some green flavor, if you will, to it. So I've just combined a little bit of white, blue, and yellow. If you have like a light teal or turquoise color, that's what we're going
Yeah.
to be going for with our little friend
Okay.
here. But feel free to brighten or darken as we go along.
Okay.
Right now, what I'm going to do is what we're going to do is put down a base color, and that way, as we go along, we can then put the highlights and the shadows in here. And I know it might look a little daunting because everything is kind of the same color as we go along, but this is where brush stroke pattern is really important, because you can see where you put the color down. So I'll just go ahead. For example, I'm going to follow the leg of this turtle here and just follow the shape that's there, right? And so as it dries, we'll be able to see this pattern, and know to separate that when we start adding our shadows and our highlights. So simple stuff right here, just filling in, starting with this one fin. I mean, do turtle, you're the expert now, the turtle expert, since you love them.
I just love them. I don't think I'm an expert.
Do turtles have fins? Are they legs? What are they, flaps? What do we
Yeah,
call
they're
them?
fins. They're
Like,
little fins.
are they fins? Okay, I wasn't sure if that was only towards, like fish, whales.
Little fins.
So they have fins.
I think I made the color you have. I think you did.
Okay. Yeah, it's always, and that's the thing too. Because of the fact that I mix my own colors, every painting always looks a little different from
Mhm.
the others. But that's okay. Everybody's painting will be their own, as long as we can recognize what it is and that we're happy with the outcome.
I think
That's
it's a
what's
little
important.
too blue.
A little too blue.
That too blue.
Yeah, I would lighten it a little bit, just a wee bit. And if it's too blue, you can add just a smidge of yellow to it, and
Oh.
that will give that green effect to it. TD says, "Happy birthday to your grandma." Thank you so much. I'll pass that along. She's a fantastic gal. She refuses to feel her age, and she's quite
Yellow.
the go-getter for sure. She's got a plan in mind. She told me last time I visited with her, she said 95. That's the goal. So you know what? If anybody could do it, it would be her.
Mhm.
So I suppose if you have that mindset and the will, then as the saying goes, there will be a way. Draid Saber Phil, hello. Sea turtles have fins, but Steph's used to looking at old guys like Jay. Oh, that's mean. That's mean. um,
Wow.
maybe it's true. I don't know, but
Wow.
it's still me. Shh, be nice on the internet. It's crazy people out there. So let's see. I've already got this fin, and I'm not going to do the head just yet. I'm going to do little sections here. So I'm going to start off
Oh,
with
it
the
does
other
turn green. I
side.
like that. Okay.
Yeah, colors I think are fantastic. Like the alchemy of color mixing. That's how I like to word it, is the alchemy of color mixing. It feels bland when you say you're mixing paints, but it's like you're creating colors that actually create or convey feeling, emotion, thoughts. And to me, if that ain't magic, I don't know what is, in
Aw,
our
I
bubble
love
world.
that.
Yeah. You're a wizard, Harry. Well, that being said, That was a beautiful segue that was totally not intentional. Are you planning on playing the Hogwarts Legacy game? Are you into
Yeah, I
Hogwarts?
streamed it last night.
Ah, okay.
I did. I started it off. I streamed it last night, and then I got to the first like big battle with the armor troll,
Okay.
and that took a little bit, and I had to stop my stream because it got late and I was tired.
Oh, yeah, what
And
happens?
I killed the troll off stream, and I got further on, and then I couldn't stop playing it because I was like, okay, I'm getting tired, and then I
Mhm.
was like, oh man, I really want to play it still. Like
It
I
is
didn't want to not stop playing it until I beat the fucking troll. So I kept playing, and then I went to sleep.
so it's that gripping of a game then. It's not
Oh,
just
I love
like
it.
okay, because I mean, I see a lot of people into it. I know people. I have people in my life that are like, I love this game.
Mhm.
Um, I do not have it at the moment. It's one of those things where it looked interesting, but I have yet to really look at it more to see if it's something that I want. Um, it's very difficult for me to jump on hypes, you know, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
everybody's doing it because of the hype. I know some people are doing it because, like, as gamers, you have to be up to speed with a lot of things.
Yeah,
And
I was actually a
reviews.
little weary of the game because me and Blabs
Hmm.
um, watched some of the I can't remember what it's called, but some of the gameplay like when it was when they were teasing it and didn't like it. We were just kind of like, oh, it doesn't look
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
My monitor always goes off. And it's only this one. This one stays on, this one goes off.
Oh.
Um
You're fancier than me. I have my computer and I have two iPads that are working as hard as they can.
I was a little worried about it because like it didn't look good when we were
Hmm.
watching it. So we were kind of I was a little hesitant, but then I was watching a couple of streamers play it, and I was like, okay, yeah, it looks good. I want to get it. But I didn't
Hmm.
watch more than like 5 minutes of it because I wanted to experience it, like
Right.
really experience it.
Right.
Um so but yeah, I love it. It's so much fun. It's so
I
much
wasn't
fun.
sure because I mean I've played games that are not open world, but that's like my thing. I like
Yeah.
MMORPG games and I love a good story. I was watching Melanie Mac the other day and she was saying, I don't care about the story, I care about the gameplay. And I am the total opposite. I'm about the story.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, yeah. I'm all about this story too. Like I really want a good story. And I'm actually like I'm playing it on my PC, and the last time I played a game on my PC was like 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
I'm trying to remember and get back in the groove of playing a game on PC. Because
Yeah.
I used to play World of Warcraft on PC. It was
Oh.
actually more than no, like 10 years ago.
I was gonna say
10,
it's been
11 years
around
ago.
for a while,
Yeah, it's
so
been around for a bit, but I haven't played a game on PC in a long time. So it took me a
mhm.
while to like get my bearings back. It's like, wow,
Yeah, I
it's been a
mean,
minute.
you've got your hardcore, you know, computer gamers, but it seems like consoles are a lot of what people prefer, I guess.
Yeah,
Seems like.
yeah, they are. And like I'm already a terrible gamer. So so like when I would play WoW, like I would just go on a bunch of quests, because that just made me happy. Um and I'm already a terrible gamer, so I'm just like, well, this is gonna take a bit. This is
Well,
gonna take
so
a
what
bit for
makes a
me.
good gamer then?
I don't know. I feel like a good gamer is like someone like Disparu who's played for a long time in their off time, has a passion for it. Like someone like Lethal who could just like come in and just really kick ass at a game. And yeah, and then there's me. And I play Animal Crossing, and I love Animal
I,
Crossing. It
I
makes
was
my
gonna
heart
say.
happy. And
The rogue attraction says hand-eye coordination makes a good gamer. I think it depends on the game.
yeah,
I
I
think
don't
that's
have
it.
good hand-eye coordination.
I can if I invest a lot of time, but it's like one of those things, like, as soon as I stop being committed to a game for a long period of time, it's like I'm back to square one. Like I used to play Call of Duty a long time
Oh
ago.
wow, I never got
And
into that. I don't like.
and
Yeah, I never got into shooting games or anything like that.
and then like the first time I ever played Fortnite, I was actually pretty good at it, surprisingly, because I was ready to just die on every moment. And I won, and this could just be you're like, what do I know? I don't know everything, but it's like the first several games that I played, like the rounds, if you will, on Fortnite, I did really well and I survived and I thrived and I'm like, I feel pretty good. And then it's like you take a break, you try again, and it's like, oh shoot, I haven't won a game since. So I think for me, and this could be totally wrong, but to me, somebody that strikes me as a good gamer is somebody who knows the jargon, right? Like I can't keep up with all the terms. My sister-in-law has turned into a gamer and she's talking about all these PvE and PvO. I don't know
Uh-huh.
all these like acronyms, and we would play Elder Scrolls Online together, and she just like surpassed me, and like she uses all the slang like the sorks and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the freak are sorks? She's like, the sorcerers. Like, oh, I don't know. Can't we
That's
just
funny.
call them sorcerers? I have filled out all of the body of the turtle that we have here.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see, but as the paint has dried, even though it's all one color, you can see that I have dragged the paintbrush in certain directions. And this is what helps tell me this is the bottom part of the face. This is the other leg, arm, fin, whatever we've decided to coin it as. So hopefully, that's coming along. And yeah, absolutely. Take your time there. C4C says, wow, never pictured you as a Call of Duty player. I like games. It just depends on what it is. I go through spurts. And like I said, I'm really about the storyline.
Yeah,
So
I love the storylines in games and I like quest games. I've never gotten into Call of Duty or shooting games, stuff like that.
yeah.
I played Fortnite one time. Once. I played it once and I died pretty quickly
Yeah.
and I never went back to it. I was just like, meh.
It's hard enough to try to shoot people when they're on the run, but then I see people building buildings and shooting people at
Uh-huh.
the same time, and I'm like, I can't. Fortnite seems like a fun game to play for me with people. But if I'm gonna
Oh,
actually
I played it
play,
with people and I was just like, I'm not having fun. Like I just don't like
yeah,
shooting games. Yeah, I played it with people. I'm pretty sure Jay was there.
oh yeah,
Uh
he's
and
pretty good at it, right?
he's really good at it. Like autistically good at Fortnite. That's a compliment.
I've never
He's
heard it like
really
that,
good at it.
um, but if I'm gonna play by myself, like I just want a story. I want a world that I can run to and escape it. And that's what I was hoping like Hogwarts
Yeah.
Legacy would be like. It seems
Hmm.
like it for a lot of people.
I think it is. I think it is. And that's what I like in games. I like just what you said. Something that I can escape to.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm dedicated. Like, if anybody asks me, and I've said it before, I've got like 3 games, or 3 franchises, if you will, because they have numerous games in them that I
mhm.
always return to when I run out of things to play or I'm feeling bored. And that's going to be Skyrim. It's going to be the Dragon Age franchise. And it's going to be Mass Effect. I can play all of those games again and again and again because number one, great stories, but also there are different outcomes for your responses. So every time you play, it's like you're
Mhm.
playing it again for the first time. And
Ooh.
that's what I love. So like Mass Effect's been out for eons, like what, 10 plus years. Same thing with Dragon Age, and they're coming out with a new one, thank God. But I just go back and play them all over again. You can customize your character. Drunk 3PO says I stink at games.
No, he
Well,
doesn't.
the rumor is that it's Mario Kart is his kryptonite. Um,
Yes.
how are you at Mario Kart then, Steph? Like, are you
I'm
pretty
the
good at it?
queen of the
Oh,
12th place gang. Uh,
nice to
yeah.
know that you
So
have
12th place.
12th place.
I'm getting better. Whenever they bring in new tracks, I struggle and I'm back down to 12th place. But uh,
At least you're
yeah,
consistent.
I know consistency is key. Um, but yeah, I think I'm getting better. Every now and then I get a win or I get like in the top 3 and it just makes my night, makes my week.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You
There's some
can I can
hardcore
live
people
off
in
of
there.
that for a week.
It doesn't. I'm a simple person.
Doesn't
I'll
take much. I got
uh,
third place. I'm good. I'm good. I don't have to play anymore.
I
Yeah,
don't have to play anymore. I've always been like second place is my place because growing up, my brother was really into video games, and being the firstborn, he needed to always win. And so I just always gravitate to
hmm
second place. So if I can get second place, I feel very much the achiever.
yeah.
So
Oh, my brother
I
was so competitive. Same thing.
yes, yes.
Same thing.
Are you second born or does it matter?
I am not second born.
Oh, okay. Must be a guy thing
I have
then.
two. Yeah, I have two older brothers
Okay.
that I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's just I love my brother too, but he's mean when it comes to games. He would get so upset if I actually won. Be like, "You cheated." Of course I did. Of course, but I won, so it means I cheated. Hey, Miss Martin Muses, hope you're having a great
Hey.
weekend. Thank you guys for spending your weekend, your start of your
Oh, look at
weekend.
that. Tom says, Jay, you're the top lawnmower simulator on Twitter. That's absolutely correct. I really want Jay to bring that back.
I can't watch him play that because it
No.
infuriates me because he doesn't like so when I mow the lawn, it's gotta be like, these patterns and stuff, and he'll go through it and miss this chunk of grass and then go around the other side and it just stays there. And honestly, I caught myself getting frustrated watching
Oh my
it.
God.
Well, really quickly though, before I move on, so I've got the body filled out here, right? And so I'm gonna take, let me move this over just a wee bit. I'm gonna take just a little bit of white and add it to what I've already created with my color here, just a little bit of white. So it's a nice aqua fresh color here. And that way, and then I'm gonna go over some of the areas and place specific highlights, right, that are going to help differentiate the body parts and things. So I'm just going to, again, follow the pattern of the body of the turtle. You can see here, it's not much of a change. I can always add some more white. You can always add more as you go along. But I'm just going to add some highlights to the top here and just kind of fan it out a little bit. I think I'm going to go a little bit brighter. And this will help introduce us to the color mixing that we're going to be doing later on with the shell. This is a great place to start because if you don't like it, you can always darken it up a little bit. We're only mixing, these two colors plus white. I am a little bit anal about saying that. I always, because white's technically not a color and neither is black. So,
Yeah, they're not colors.
but just adding some here. Did you get the bacon of Dune? What?
Who's that?
What is Rogue saying? Did you get the bacon of doom from Hangar Bar, Steph? I was asking about
Oh,
food. I
yeah, I was
think.
at Hanger Bar the other night. I did not. I did
I
not.
thought this was going to be like a Hogwarts Legacy patch or something like that. I'm like, what? What is that? The bacon of doom. That sounds mighty tasty.
I did not. I don't even remember what I got actually. What did I
So,
eat?
do you enjoy going to the parks? Do you go regularly?
I don't. I don't go regularly. I'd like to go regularly, actually. And I want to get like a pass and everything to start going. Because I love going to the parks. Like it's so much fun. There's so much
Mm-hmm.
to see, and I feel like every time that I've visited the parks, like there's so much to see that like you can't possibly do it in the amount of time
Yeah.
that I've been. So there are days when I'm like, God, I wish I had like I don't have a season pass yet, and I was like, I wish I had one because
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to just take a day and just go by myself and go look at stuff.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Like, you really can't take
yeah.
it all in.
hmm
There's too much to look at, there's too many people, you're distracted by this, you gotta wait in line for that. Um, for sure, yeah, you need, like, 3, 4
I know.
days,
And
weeks.
like, oh, I really, yeah. Like I want to go and just take it all in. So,
So, I
but
hope that I
I'll probably like get a pass soon
Mhm.
um and start
Yeah.
going because yeah, like I absolutely love going.
Well, you're close by, so
hmm
that would make sense, and, especially if you really enjoy it as well. I hope that I'm not painting too quickly for you. Hopefully that I like.
I finished the coloring in
Oh, okay.
So I'm following your highlights now, if I can tell.
Yeah, I figured if I kind of just go ahead and put them out there so that way you can kind of see. Some people they need to see it and do it. Some people need to do it along with you. So I'm trying to find a happy medium there.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I bring back my original, we'll see that the colors are a little bit different here. But you'll also notice my strokes; they're not perfect here. Let me bring this up a little closer. You see,
Look
there's
at
some
me, so
mixing,
cute.
and exactly, I think that adds to the endearing. Perspective of this little guy, and you can always go back over and touch things up again. I'm going to add just, like I said, I throw in my highlights here. Makes a huge difference. And already he's springing to life a little bit here. C4C says, when you were young, did any of your brothers give you a disconnected controller and told you that you were
Yes.
playing when in fact you were not playing at all?
Yeah, my cousins did that too.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
very nice of y'all. Very
I
nice.
I'm not bitter. It's only been 20 years. I'm not bitter. Um I don't think my brother ever did that to me
I'm
because
always like, what's going on? What is going on? What is going on?
right.
Yeah. So much fun.
I don't know. My brother's friends may have done that. I don't know that he ever did it to me though.
Did you put some on the mouth
Just a little
or the
bit
bottom
right in
chin? The bottom
not
chin.
not the bottom portion here because I want that to remain dark so that way again
Oh,
it's
I
separated.
accidentally put some there. Okay.
And that's okay. You can always let it dry and then go back to your original color and cover over it. We're also going to be adding some slightly darker paint to this as well.
Okay.
I am going to put, like I said, some highlights on the back fin. So just trying to imagine that the light source, where that might come from, and try to make things match. But it's under the water,
Yeah.
so light reflects all over the place. That was kind of the difficult thing when I was teaching the Rogue Attraction. He was my last. Well, no, excuse me. McInerney Draws was my last guest, but the time before that was the Rogue was Tom, and that was the difficult part with like the dolphin that we painted together. Which, by the way, if you guys have not watched that episode, you should. There's a super funny story as to what inspired that art piece, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it was. I wish I would have been there to actually see it in person is all I'm gonna say. My goodness. But Nigel M, are you enjoying Orlando so far, Steph? He asks.
Yeah, I am. I'm not gonna lie, I miss my family like crazy.
Oh, sure.
I'm very much family oriented,
Mm,
and um it was very hard moving away from them because I didn't
yeah.
go, there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't visit or see my family.
Oh, wow.
Um, so from
Wonderful.
that perspective, that's been really hard adjusting from, Texas to Florida,
Mm,
and being away from my family. But
oh,
other than
for
that,
sure.
like, it's been a lot of fun.
That's excellent. It's nice
Yeah.
that you know people, like you've moved and you know people, because I can't imagine moving somewhere and not knowing anybody.
I know.
That's
What was terrible was that as soon as I got here, and this happens every time I come to Florida, as soon as I got here, I got sick, like right
oh.
away. So I was just like, I was dead for like a week.
Oh, no, that's
And then
awful.
yeah, and then my voice was gone because of all the coughing, and
Yeah.
it's still coming back. I
Mhm.
feel like my voice is still a little hoarse. It's not at 100. It's probably like at 85 right now. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was pretty terrible. Like, I got sick as soon as I got here,
Mm.
and I felt like I was like missing so much already because I was already sick.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that was terrible. That sucked. But once I got better, I was just like, okay, let's get do it.
Right,
Let's
right.
do it.
Let's make the
Let's go
most of it
explore.
soon.
I want to explore. I've actually like been I've gone out with a few people, but I've done a lot of exploring on my own. I think like I was using Siri to like try and find places, and I ended up like 45 minutes away from where I'm at. And I was like,
Mhm.
how did I get all the way out here? Oh my gosh, it took me forever to get back home. But yeah, I've been exploring on my own a lot. I try and go out either at night or during the day and sort of look around and get my bearings, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Uh,
everybody knows Florida for the theme parks and stuff, but and the Everglades. But
I want to see
I'm
the Everglades.
I don't know if I would want to ever do that just
I
because
kind of
it's
want
like
to. I want to because I love CSI Miami.
right.
and they're always over in the Everglades,
Everglades.
and the
I know, but
Everglades look
everybody dies in the
gorgeous. Yeah.
Everglades. Like, I don't know. I have this weird aversion and a little bit. I don't know that it's necessarily a phobia, but it makes me uncomfortable. Ever since I was little, there's one reason why I didn't like 80s movies and stuff like that. But sometimes that they would do these parts of the world and stuff like that. I don't like land that is just flat. Like, I don't know what it is about it, just kind of freaks me out. So the fact that, like you see all these swamps and stuff like that, with the ones that are not in the trees, right? And it's just
Mhm.
miles of like grass on water. I don't know, something about that just really freaks me out.
Yeah. But you can get the what are they called? What are those boats called with like
Not
the
not
thing on the
pontoon boats.
big thing on
They're
the back? I wonder
uh
if there's like an Everglade, like a trip that you can take like through the Everglades.
I think there is.
Yeah.
If I'm not
That's
mistaken,
kind
I
of
believe there
cool.
is. And it's one of those things like if I was with people doing it, but at the same time, it just kind of just freaks me out. So I don't know where you are with your highlights.
I
Hopefully it's
think is
coming
this
along.
too is my highlight too dark? I don't know.
Um,
It's a little
that
dark.
that is up to preference. I would say maybe a little bit lighter.
Okay.
It's
It seems
TD.
dark. It seems really dark.
Yeah, and trust your instincts with that. Like, so not everybody obviously is an artist, but
Mhm.
everybody has preferences of how they want things to look. Sometimes they don't understand what it is that they're looking at that's missing, but they just instinctually know, I don't want this to look like this, and I need somebody to tell me what's wrong or how to make things better. And so I think a little bit extra highlight would be nice. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
much, and it doesn't have to be over blended either. Just remember that too. It can be kind of a rough kind of go with that. TD says, no, Steph, don't go. Don't end up on CSI like that. Uh, Jay
I
says,
love CSI.
airboats. Airboat.
Airboats, that's what they're called. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love CSI. The only CSI that I never watched was CSI New York. But like in Vegas, they have like a CSI thing in Vegas, and the very first time that I went to Vegas, I didn't go to clubs. I didn't go like gamble. I'm not really that type of a person. I went to go see like all of the CSI locations from the show,
Oh,
and it
okay.
was really cool. They had like I don't even know if they still have it yet, but still have it, but they had like a CSI museum in Vegas, and like that was and I went to go see, I think like at the time they had The Lion King on Broadway there,
Ooh,
and I went to go see that, and then they had like the Cirque du Soleil shows, and I wanted
nice.
to see that. So like it was so funny because I would like walk through hotels and walk through bars, and I'm just kind of like,
You're
yeah,
right. I want to see where the dead
no,
people were on
where's the
TV.
CSI stuff? Oh,
But I mean,
and then they also had and I know I'm pretty sure they still have it there. They also had Titanic. It was like a Titanic exhibit
oh.
that I went and did and it was such a great exhibit. I loved it. I love that exhibit.
I never saw that when I was in Vegas. Maybe that's a new thing, but it has been 20 years since I lived there, so I was limited. We went backpacking in the desert. That was mostly what we did there.
Oh, that
Um,
sounds fun.
I love it. I love Vegas. I would go back in a heartbeat. I know everybody's always surprised. They're like, "Oh, the church girl, why in the world do you want to go back to Vegas?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Look, if you get outside of the strip, there is so many fun things to do. Like also
Oh,
because I love being outside, and I love the desert. Even though I love grass and forests and stuff like that, that's my world. But there's
yeah.
just something about the desert that I absolutely love. And Vegas was one of the best places I ever lived. I met amazing people. We saw amazing things, and yeah, I would go back in a heartbeat.
I've noticed that about like your Instagram and your Instagram stories that you're outside a lot.
I love the outdoors.
Yeah, you're
I
outside a
thrive.
lot.
I thrive. I get a little bit of cabin fever this time of year. So I live in North Carolina and the
Mhm.
weather is stupid here anyway, but like it's not really warm enough to go outside, but it's not really cold enough to kill the bugs. It's just crazy. But anyway, right around February when we're supposed to get our worst ice storms, I
Mhm.
start start feeling very downcast in my spirit, and I try to figure out
Oh.
why, and I'm like, it's because I'm not outside as much as I need to be. Like in the summertime, I am outside eating, I am outside reading, I'm just outside literally watching the ants do their stuff while I'm gardening. It's just that's where I thrive. And so being inside, because I don't like being cold, so being inside all of the time, it just like devastates me. And it was a really wonderful revelation when I realized that this time of year, all of a sudden I get so moody and I'm just sad, and you start questioning every life decision you've ever made. I'm like, why is this happening every year? It's because I'm not outside. You ever played Sims?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not a real gamer. No, I'm just kidding. So I used to be huge into Sims when I was younger. And it's so interesting how they do make it a human simulator, because it's amazing how we can be kind of just narrowed down individually as to what our base needs are. And anytime, like certain characters, if you made their characteristics like being outdoorsy types, if they were inside their house, they have that little meter above their
Oh
head.
yeah.
And if this, I would watch, and my characters would get so upset if they couldn't go outside. And literally, as soon as they went outside, that meter just started to grow. And I'm like, that's me. That's exactly what happens to me in February. So I need to be outside.
Yeah. I think everyone needs that. Like even
Oh
because
yeah.
especially like when you do like what we do, and it's
Yeah.
constantly just on your monitors looking for stories, looking for things to report on, looking for editing, or
Yes.
streaming.
Hours
You don't
editing.
go outside a lot.
Yeah.
You just don't. You don't go outside a lot, and you need that. You need the sun. You need vitamin D.
For sure.
You
Ever since
need
I
that
started doing
brightness in your
this.
life. You can't be in a
Yeah.
dark room all the time. And I actually noticed that when like I was working a full-time job, and then I would, help other people with whatever they needed help with, whether it be like editing or making something for them or whatever. And then I would stream on my own. And so I'm in this room for like 20 hours a day, and then I would sleep, wake up, sit right back down in my chair.
Yeah.
And so it was awful. I was like so depressed. It was terrible. And
Yeah.
the job that I had, like I would have like 12-hour shifts,
Okay.
and it was all working from home on two monitors. So like it was terrible. It was a really good job, don't get me wrong,
Right.
but it was like
Took a toll on you.
it took a
Yeah.
toll. Yeah.
There was no balance. Yeah. I know what you mean. Like I said, I used to work in a shop, and I would teach other people how to paint, and I would be there on the weekends. And sometimes people come in, sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's birthday parties, lots of noise, and a lot of people don't believe me, but I'm very introverted, and so people and noises and all this kind of stuff, they drain me. So like going to the parks is wonderful, but like I need I need a break. I need a quiet place. I need to get some headphones and take it with me, those noise canceling ones. But I would work at the shop, and as soon as I left and just step outside into the sunlight, or I would get home and I would just like sit on the grass or whatever the case might, just feel the breeze, like literally
Mhm.
was recharging just by
Yeah.
the touch of the sun, having been inside all day. So it's a
Yeah.
real thing. I did add a little bit more blue to my original color and just a wee touch of yellow to keep it in that green feel. But you'll notice that I've got some darker spots here. And so basically on the opposite side of your highlights is where you'll put some of your shadowing, your darker color, but still try to leave a little bit of your original color visible. JT, so that way you get your the perfect blend there. You get your midtones, your highlights, and your shadows. Midtone is what we started out with, our base color. That was our midtone, and we just added highlights, and now hopefully we're attempting to incorporate some shadows, and it just really makes things pop, and that's what makes things look more realistic and more interesting. The more colors you add, the more interesting and realistic something appears. JT says, go outside and hunt for Bigfoot. Yeah, exactly.
What did you add to the darker color?
All I did was I took my original color, which was the mixture of the yellow, the white, and the blue, and I just went in and took some more blue and just a little bit of yellow and added it to my original color.
Okay.
That way, everything stays in the same family, if you will. So that way, if you need to readjust anything, it's not too difficult. And I am doing this. Oh, I didn't. My apologies. I didn't even tell you which brush I was using. I'm using my 1/2 inch brush.
Oh, I just saw it, and I grabbed this one.
Excellent.
I
I
think
apologize. We got
that's
started, and I was just like, "Let's go," and totally forgot to tell you which brush I was going to use. I apologize. Oh my goodness, this has been my life for the past like 6 or 7 years, and somehow you still forget the instructions. So, like I said, I'm just going to kind of put the shadows around so you can kind of see where everything is going to go.
Okay.
And how much contrast I'm putting in the, and I hope you don't think that if I'm ever trying to explain something, I'm being condescending. Sometimes people want to know, they just don't have the words for it. But contrast here being a fancy word for the opposite of something. Yeah, there we go. So, I mean,
I'm such a mess. I'm making a mess.
of course you are. That means you're having a good time. That's what I always tell people, like, especially when I was teaching the adults, because they're like, I'm getting paint everywhere. And it's like, you're kind of supposed to, and it's anticipated that you would. So I always tell them, if you're not making a mess, that means you're not having fun.
I'm making a big mess.
Yeah. Well, when I had drunk 3PO here, surely it wasn't any bigger a mess than that. Of course,
I watched that stream. That was such a good stream.
part of that
you guys
was
did
my
an
fault.
Avatar painting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, him being a big Avatar fan. I like Avatar a lot. I can't say it's my favorite franchise, but I have seen the new movie several times. Are you into Avatar?
I haven't seen the new movie. I want to go see. When I came out here, I was promised that we would go see the new movie.
Uh-oh.
And I still have yet to go see. I want to see the new movie. I haven't seen it.
Oh my goodness. Guys, those that are in the Geeks and Gamers crew in the chat, what are you doing with yourself? You got to treat Steph right there.
Not seen the movie. I want to see that. I think I want to see Knock at the Cabin and Megan. Like, those are the 3 movies. And I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, the new movie is just absolutely beautiful to look at.
That's what I've heard.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to necessarily like the storyline, but I, as an artist, I just like watching the colors. And again, it's outside, it's in the water, and I'm just like sitting there watching this and it's just unfathomable, really, that it's all fake.
Right? Yeah.
I'm
still mixing these colors. I don't have the right color. It keeps turning into the original color.
Okay. It's probably because there's quite a bit of white still on your brush. So what I recommend is that you can just take your rag and just basically, you don't have to rinse it necessarily unless your colors are congealing, but just kind of pat off the excess. Mm-hmm. And if you need to, you can start over with the color, your original color, and just add some dark blue or whatever blue that you have with you. Drunk 3BO says, hey. I'm going to assume that hey is interpreted as in like, hey. Kane Sion says, as Bob Ross used to say, happy accidents. That's happy right. Accidents. No mistakes, just happy accidents. You'd be surprised how many times I have made these accidents and they actually benefit the painting itself. For sure.
A big blob of blue. Let's see if that helps.
Absolutely. Go for it. I encourage it.
This is so much more paint. It's like than I thought I would be. Yeah. Okay, this is working. There we go. Working. It's darker now.
Hey, sometimes you just got to risk it all. No risk, no reward. Is that what the saying is? For sure. So, I mean, everybody, I guess, besides knowing you for streaming on Twitch and all this kind of stuff, you're part of the Geeks and Gamers crew. How did that, if I'm allowed to ask, how did that happen? How does one step onto such a platform? Were you the chosen one?
No, Jay in the chat. Like, Jay was the first person that I found, actually. Okay, no, he wasn't.
Just when he thought he was special.
I know, he wasn't. So I watched a lot of EFAP. I still do. I watched a lot of EFAP. And I think Jeremy was on one of them. And so that's how I found Jeremy. And then I think like they were streaming, and I saw Jay, and I would watch the Dark Council,
Okay.
or actually I would lurk the Dark Council for a long time, because I was such a lurker for the longest time.
Haven't we
So
all?
yeah, I would lurk the Dark Council for the longest time, and it was so funny because I finally like put in a chat. And I am pretty sure it was like Fatal J. I finally like said something in the chat. And I think Fatal J was like, "Who's my nerdy home?" And Jay, the sweetest guy that he is, he's like, "Oh, she's here all the time. You don't know my nerdy home."
She's here all the time.
I was like, "It's my first time like chatting in here."
Look, he's already taken credit
um.
for it. It's all
So
because of
yeah.
me.
So I was on. I think I was like streaming with Jay. To begin with, Jay introduced me to Jeremy.
So were you
And
were you already gaming on your own, and that's how you were introduced to
I
it?
was making like a few videos on my own, you
Okay.
know, just a couple on my own. And I had already had like an established channel, because I did beauty for a long time. I did beauty and makeup on my channel
Oh,
for a really
okay.
long time, really consistently. And then I went through like some life stuff and took a year off my channel.
Mhm.
And during that year, I was just listening to a lot of stuff, and I came across Mahler and Drinker and Shad, and I would just like, because they do long form content. I would,
Yeah.
especially Mahler, I would listen to a lot of their videos, and then I saw that they started streaming, or they streamed, and I didn't realize that, and so I would, well, not Drinker. But Mahler was streaming for a long time, so I was just kind of like, I would listen for a while, and then The Last Jedi, I was just like, yeah, I think I'll start
Ah,
making videos again. But
that seems to be
it
the
took
movie that everybody hates,
it
but
is,
somehow
yeah,
brought everybody
absolutely.
together.
Yeah, The Last Jedi, and so I started making videos again, but not on makeup. It was an incredible. It was like a really big shift in the channel to start like talking about pop culture.
Mhm.
Um, and when I did that, I loved it, because like when I
Yeah.
did like makeup and stuff, you'd see like a few things in my background that was kind of nerdy, but it wasn't there, because like in the beauty world you had to have like a specific background.
Right, all the rose gold or the gold and white with the
Yeah,
gray, the marble flower, yeah.
marble, yeah, exactly. So like it wasn't it had to be a specific way, and so I tried
Yes.
to emulate that, and it was fine. I got when I stopped, I was pretty ready to stop, actually.
Okay.
um so I started doing that because I wanted to like learn, because I wasn't I wasn't into makeup until like, I don't know, my mid 20s,
Okay.
because I didn't wear makeup a lot or
Mm.
at all for a long time. And so I started watching some makeup videos to try and learn how to do makeup. And then I started my channel to try and like do things on my own and create different looks, and, start reviewing products and stuff. And so that's what I did. And it was a pretty good time to stop, for me to stop, because I had gotten like everything I could out of that channel. And I was just kind of like, or out of that experience. Um, and it just wasn't like bringing me joy anymore. It wasn't bringing me happiness anymore. So I was just like, man,
Mhm.
I'm just going to stop. But then like doing this and talking about everything that we talk about, like I absolutely love it. And I wouldn't want to stop talking about it, honestly. Like, because there's always so much to talk about and so much to speak about. And
Yeah.
especially right now with all of the, I want to call it the devil, with like the devil, coming into the entertainment space, and
Yeah.
um, just really tarnishing everything.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, you feel obligated to now.
Mhm.
So um so yeah, so like now I really really love it. I really love talking about it. And I talk more about it. Like I don't really say much, except for on Twitter, a lot, and on my Saturday night stream that I do. So like that's pretty much where I kind of like just really just
Yeah.
let it all out. But you can never stop talking about it, and I don't think people should stop. If you kind of like feel burnt out or whatever, just keep in mind like why, why
What are
people
you
are,
fighting for?
what are
Yeah.
you fighting for, why people are speaking out, and why Hollywood and, all the people that are on Twitter are intimidated by it because the voices are getting louder because more people are noticing.
Yeah.
And it's a threat to them,
Right. We've been
and
quiet for too long. Yeah.
yeah, it's a threat to them. So now is the time to speak even louder about it. Now's the time to
Right.
be louder, when they're getting threatened, when they're losing money, when they're feeling like holy shit, what are we going to do now? That's when you push even harder.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
What is it like the idea of like when you turn the light on, that's when the roaches
that's when the
scatter.
roaches scatter. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, all these companies are starting to realize, oh, we are losing money, we are losing viewership, our plans are not going the way we hoped that they would, and then they keep pushing harder and harder. I think it's so funny with what they've been doing to Star Wars. I often think of the one line that Leia told Grand Admiral Tarkin when she was like, the more you tighten your grip, the more starship systems will slip through your fingers. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I love how Star Wars is rebuking itself. Like, that obviously is George Lucas's Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
rebuking Disney's Star Wars. Like, you keep doing all this stuff and it is not working and you're losing more and more people. And I'm just like, I love Star Wars. Like, it's just great. How it just
Yeah.
kind of comes back around.
Yeah. But
How are you?
so okay, so how did I get into G and G? I
Mhm.
went off on a whole tangent
It
there.
happens here.
But yeah, I started helping and like modding, and I would just help and mod anywhere that I could. And I was actually supposed to be on the team like a while ago. But it wasn't the right time for me. And so when it finally was the right time, me and Jeremy talked, and I was like, okay, I'm totally ready now. Let's do it. Because I didn't want to half ass anything.
Mm,
If I didn't have the time to do it, then I wasn't ready.
yeah.
Um, so once I was like, okay, I'm in, let's do it. And I just went in head first and haven't looked back. So
Excellent.
yeah.
I'm not trying to cut you out off at all, but like, I find all this fascinating. All my guests are fascinating. How is your turtle coming? Did you put the
I
data
I
in?
I need to. Can I see your what is it
Oh,
called?
yeah,
The
my sample.
where the
Oops.
darker spots are, because I think I missed some. Yeah, I missed some.
Yeah, no problem. I'll leave this up here for you to look at. Hello, gaming or what?
What's up,
TM
gaming?
says hello. TD says mid-20s. So last year, Steph. So,
Um,
but yeah, I mean, like you said, you don't want to, in your terms, have. It's hard for me to say that. You don't want to go in halvesies for sure, especially with a
yeah.
platform like that. But there's a lot at stake. Like there's a lot of benefits, it seems, but there is a lot of at stake. Especially with the aggression that comes from, if you will, I hate to divide it, but it really is a division that comes from the other side. And how do you, like, I don't know if you've ever experienced personal attacks or anything like that, but how do you yourself
Oh yeah.
combat that negativity? How do you stand firm and continue doing what you're doing even though it's rough out there? I mean, that takes a toll on your mental health for sure. How do you stand strong in something like that?
It usually all comes from Twitter, and I have to
Yeah.
remember the people that are on Twitter and why I'm on Twitter. You know.
Yeah.
It always, always, always comes from Twitter. I think there was only like one time that it ever like really affected me, and the only reason it affected me was because I thought it was gross. That was it. I was just like, that's nasty. You
Mm,
nasty.
yeah.
Um, and I was just like, oh, I can't even like listen to what this person has to say because it was just like it was dirty, it was filthy, and I was just like, no, that's gross. And it was probably, and I don't block anybody. I don't block anybody. So like I see everything and I really don't care. Um and I think I've muted maybe 3 people. Because it's just like, okay, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Or like it was that nasty person. So
Mhm.
but other than that, like it's Twitter, and they're just people that are unhappy with their lives. And you have to remember that like in my mind, it's like, especially when dealing with the supercharged issues of today, you have to remember that like I'm always thinking of, okay, I'm coming at it from like this, these are children that you're targeting. These are innocent minds
Yeah.
that are that can be corrupted like that, you
Yeah.
know? So uh I feel like I'm on the right side if you're fighting for kids and
Yeah.
for innocence, as opposed to I'm gonna put all, you know, all of this sexual imagery in front of children and just let them see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what kind of person is like that? What kind of person would want that? These are obviously like people who are um hurt,
Depraved.
who are
Yeah.
hurt, or who are depraved, or who had really bad experiences in their life,
Yeah.
or have mental issues, and those, you know, they have their own problems. It's not me, you know.
Is
It's
Pedro
their
Pascal
problem.
one of those people that has
Oh my
problems?
gosh, yeah,
Apparently, he has
that
a
was a
tattoo.
thing.
So
Yeah, that
what
was a thing.
happened
I
with that? What
totally
kind of
forgot about
story is
that.
that?
I totally forgot about that. But a lot of times it's weak people. It's weak
Mhm.
people who don't know who they are. And it's like, it's not my job to fix you. You need to fix yourself. And that's how it makes it like super easy, because it's, and
Yeah.
again, it's just Twitter.
Mhm.
It's just Twitter to me. Um but yeah, Pedro Pascal, that was pretty funny. I think like I had I wasn't expecting that when that happened. Because I used to tweet out and share like a whole bunch of videos, and I shared one of Ryan's videos, and Pedro Pascal, I guess, was just like, oh my God, y'all, check it out. And all of his crazy, creepy, weirdo fans were like, you asked for this because you tagged him. And I'm just like, dude, I tag
Wow.
everybody. Like,
You're
I
like,
don't
I was
stop
just eating a
tagging.
ham sandwich
I
and
don't
checked my
mind tagging.
Twitter.
I tag people. It's just whatever. But I thought that was pretty funny. What I wasn't expecting though, and I should have known. But like this really the big stands, the huge stands, the ones that like, I fight for you, Pedro, so you can notice me, senpai. Um, those people like went and got on my Instagram, and they went to like the one of the recent photos that I had put up there, and it was of my grandma, because my grandma had just passed, like, I don't know, a day or two before. And you know, some of them went out there and wrote like, oh, I bet she died and she's happy to not be
Why do
around
they
you,
always
she's
go
happy to
for the
not be near you.
grandmas? You
They always
that?
do that, yeah. um and then like a lot of the recent any recent hate that I have, John Bartolo is my pinned comment, and so they'll take a screenshot of that photo and DM me and be like, I'm glad he died. And it's like, who the fuck, who does that? Like,
Right, that
seriously.
is such a, not only is it a low class thing, but it's such an immature
It's incredibly
middle
immature, and you
school
just have
thing
to be
to
like, God,
do.
like, it's like whatever. You know, you just have to just whatever with these people. Like,
Yeah.
they're not
It's
happy
like
with
you're
themselves.
very well aware that you have him as your pinned comment. Why does somebody feel they need to remind you? Like,
I know. Yeah.
oh, for sure.
It's just like, all right. Clearly, again, just people that aren't happy, you know.
Yeah, people that are searching for a reason to feel self-righteous, really.
Hmm.
That's what it is. Whenever you
I feel like they have to know. They have to know that like
That's the
they're
part that
on.
drives me the craziest the most is like you said, you do know these are hurting people, these are messed up people, these are people that cannot think for themselves. It gets really frustrating how they can't seem to understand that though. It is frustrating how common sense and logic does not seem to be understood, cannot be comprehended. Kind of like what you were saying. It's like it should be common knowledge. Like we don't expose children to sexual content on the internet. That's just common knowledge.
I
That's just
know,
basic.
it's common knowledge.
Why
Like,
don't people
it used
why
to
do
be
people
something that, you know, like people just knew. Like,
yeah,
you just know. You know, cover your eyes, kids. Like,
right.
you
Don't
just,
look
it's just something that like you just knew. Don't
Mhm.
expose kids to that. Like, there's a reason there's an age limit there, you know. And it's just like nowadays it's like, no, let them see it, they're gonna look at it anyways. It's like,
Yeah,
no, they're not. Like,
that is the
they're really
twisted
not.
mindset. I've seen that argument a lot is that, people saying something about, children witnessing pornography and they're like, well, better for them to learn it now because they're going to see it eventually. Um, I don't think you have the right attitude towards that.
I know.
uh, I
And I
mean,
can
that
only speak for myself, okay, and my life experiences, but I never went and searched out pornography. Not in high school, not in college. Like I never exposed myself to that. You
Right.
know, and I was very well aware that it was like out there,
Yeah,
but
it's easily
it's something
accessible.
that like um that my mom was always like, close your eyes, all right. You know, it was
Right.
nothing that I was curious about. But why? Because my parents like kept me engaged. They kept me in sports. They kept me in a or I was encouraged to join a bunch of clubs. Like I was never left alone, you
Yeah.
know, and like bored. And I feel like these people were constantly just like left alone, or like they
Mhm.
didn't have any sense of community because they didn't join any teams. They didn't have any community around them. They're just a bunch of loners, and you know, they were just like, oh, let me look what I can search up now because I'm bored, and they go into rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And so from their life experience, they're like, oh yeah, they're going to find it anyways. They're going to search for it anyways. It's like, no, you did
Right.
that.
Right. Right.
You went out there and you searched for it. But,
Right.
you know, other kids, you know, not everybody lived the life you live. So you just have to like really just stop, you know,
Right. There is a
don't come
difference
up with that
between
nonsense.
being exposed to it and searching for stuff yourself, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Drunk 3PO says Steph made me get slapped with a burrito. Okay.
Oh yeah. He had
Yeah.
the best reactions to it too. Jay can't hold his water.
Oh, is that from the trend that's going around? Typically, when
The
people say they can't hold their water, it means that they easily pee. And so I'm like, well, that's an interesting thing to expose about a man.
I know. He
James
got
got
slapped
that
with a
from.
burrito. Burrito.
Um,
That was funny.
so I hope that you've got most of your shading done. So I'm going to bring my original
I
piece
do.
back here. So what we're going to work on next is the shell. So don't worry about the lines, right? That is going to be easy to do. What we want to focus on is the colors. If you're able to see past the lines here, and we're going to start at the bottom, still using, excuse me, still using our 1/2 inch flat brush. We're going to go straight into the blue, and you'll notice that it's going to get lighter. We're going to start incorporating white as we go along.
Okay.
And then we're going to transition with a little bit of, we're going to, if you have purple, then you can use that. I have to pre-make mine, which is going to be
Oh,
blue and red.
okay, I don't have purple.
And so if you have blue and red, and I'm going to add a little touch of white. I don't want it to be too strong of a purple in the shell. Now, again, if you're a fan of purple or any of these colors, feel free to change this up, okay? This is what I have done and what I'm going to do again. But if you say, you know, I'd rather just have blue and purple shell, I don't want it to be pink, feel free. I want some of your own personal whatever to go into this painting. But like I said, I'm going to have dark blue going into light blue, just a very hint of like lavender that's going to translate into pink as we
Okay.
go up. So we're just creating gradients of colors from top to bottom of the shell. Again, just follow the shape that we already have. It's going to be pretty simple. So let me rinse this out here so I didn't let the paint dry. Here we go. And I'll go ahead and just show you what I'm going to do. I just get a little bit of blue, start at the nape of the neck, basically, and just follow the line. And if you're wanting to have like a steady hand, because we have not painted the rest of the turtle, of course, I'm left-handed, so I've got all this exposed area over here, but you know, you can use your pinky, rest your wrist. This paint should be relatively dry, depending on which area you finished last. And just kind of go for it. I recommend just really just having a nice long stroke with the brush, because if you try to do the little, you know, snippets, which is nothing wrong with that if you should choose to do that, it's just that it won't be quite as clean and smooth. I personally like to have a clean and smooth run of the paint, but everybody's different. So like I said, there's no wrong way, just what I would recommend doing. So I've got my first color down like so. And this way, when we have a nice dark color here, maybe bring this back and we start adding the lines, it helps make it look like it's a lip, right? So that curved portion of the turtle shell kind of gives it just a little bit of like a 3D element, if you will. Hey, Achilles Jones. He says, hello, Tabitha. Hello, Steph. And he says, hello, Jay. He's not even here and he's getting hellos.
I know.
Look at him stealing the limelight.
Always does.
So
he's just that famous.
he's just that famous.
Everybody's getting his bear now.
His bear, that's right. That's right. He got all those. That was such a funny stream with him signing them. And I had to screenshot that one where he's dressed up as the Canadian bear and he's literally got the doll bent over with his little bum exposed and he's writing on it with a pen. That's just great. Okay, so this one little tip thing here is that I've got, blue on my brush. Something that's going to help us for later on, for a little bit more of an advanced technique that we're going to attempt, is that I'm going to put a little bit of white on one side of my brush. We're going to do what's called two-toning, right? One of my favorite things to do. Let's get just a little bit. Whoops. If I can get just a little bit, here we go. I'm going to get just a little bit of white, if you can see that there, right? So I'm going to make sure that my dark blue is touching my dark blue, and I'm just going to go over it again a couple of times. And as I do this, it's going to start lightening the blue just a little bit. It might be difficult to see in the camera, but it should be a little easier to see in person. Let me make it a little bit more accentuated so it might translate a little bit better. But this way we can see clearly there's dark blue and there's a lighter blue. I like what Stunning and Brave Megatron says. Steph, you should give your turtle a red mask and a pair of, what's this called? How do you pronounce it? Skies?
Skies?
Okay. I thought he was going to say red glasses.
Pair of size.
Just put your red glasses on there, your signature look there.
Size. That's what Raph uses.
Oh, okay. That's right. It kind of would take away from the girliness of this and the elegance, I think, if you had the weapons included. It would be adorable if you had your red glasses on your turtle, but...
Oh, yeah, that would be cute.
Here we go. Yeah, you can just kind of see shift in the color here. Make a baby Raph is what he says. That's right. Michelangelo and Leonardo were always my favorite turtle.
I loved Raphael. Raphael was my guy.
I didn't like him. He had a bad attitude.
I liked him. He was a layered character. So was Leonardo. But yeah, Raphael was cool.
I liked Mikey's sense of humor, and I like swords, and I like the color blue. So it just kind of
there you
go. Divided my interest there. I was never a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles person, but my brother was, so naturally, and because him being the oldest, I had to watch whatever he wanted to watch. My mom had to make special arrangements in the afternoon when we would watch TV. Like, okay, so Joshua watches like Transformers and Turtles one day, and then the next day I get to watch Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo.
So are you liking Velma?
I have not watched it because it just looks like an atrocity. And then I watch everybody on Twitter and I see the little moments that they've exposed. And I'm like, heck to the nah, man. Hashtag not my Scooby-Doo. I mean, Scooby-Doo's not even there. So, I mean, I know it's supposed to be about Velma, but it's not even like Velma was one of my favorite characters too, because she just, I don't know, she was no nonsense. She was smart, she was witty. Like, I don't know what in the world they thought they needed to do with Velma. And then this whole thing about how she was obviously a lesbian. And I'm like, growing up, I do remember there being episodes where she was into guys. She just, the brilliant thing about Velma was that she never was a woman who seemed to feel like she needed a man per se. I'm not saying that she was like a strong, independent feminist, but it was like, what I'm saying? Like that wasn't
she held her own.
Right. She didn't need a guy. She just liked guys.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. But like you were saying, people speaking out, what are you fighting for? All of that. And it comes into play. I'm going to incorporate a little bit more of the light blue up here. And we're just, like I said, we're going to transition from different colors as we go along. They should work together harmoniously, because as we start getting into the purple and then the pink and all that stuff, again, because color theory tells us that blue and red make purple, whatever blue is left over on our brush should translate pretty nicely. So I'll go ahead and just put a little bit of red on my brush, pat it on my palette, and see if I get that little bit of lavender that I'm hoping for. Might have to lighten it up a little bit, but there we go. Just a little something. Not too much.
That's pretty.
Steph is funny and silly. Aw.
Thank you.
She's like, I know.
pretty.
Your colors, are they working out?
I think so.
Excellent. I don't really want this to be red, so that's why, of course, I'm going to make sure I lighten it up as I go with white.
It doesn't look as smooth as yours looks like watercolor.
That's just because I am a blend fanatic. It's my go-to thing. And of course, years of experience, and also the fact that this is not the first time I've done this.
Oh.
You know. But I'm sure yours is looking lovely. Is it looking like a cute little turtle, hopefully?
Yeah, it is.
Excellent. Then that's what we want. That's what we're going for. So do you have a schedule? I may have missed that. You had a schedule for when you game and such?
I try to, but I can never stick to a schedule, which kind of sucks. I wish I could. I wish I could stick to a schedule. I need to stick to a schedule, and I think that now that I'm here, I'm going to have to stick to a schedule. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. I have stream scheduled days, but
is that primarily for your Twitch account? Is it for YouTube? Do you just bounce back off of each other, or
I need a good schedule for my Twitch streams, and then there are set streams that I'm a part of already that are scheduled, and then but yeah, I need a good schedule for my Twitch stream. How did you make the pink?
Pink, I just used red and white.
Red and white. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I kind of just leftover whatever leftover blue was in there. Every now and then you might see me dab on my towel. So if you have too much, like you have some excess, and you don't really want to rinse your brush unless it's totally flooded with paint. But you'd be surprised if you just dab out some of the excess. Some of that will translate into the blue with the red and create a light purple. And then, yeah, I just started having red and white to create a very soft kind of a pastel pink over here.
Okay.
Again, if you want it to be bolder, no wrong way to do this, of course. This is just, fun, colorful shell. Obviously, It's not realistic. Turtle shells don't really look like this. But fun fact, the Native Americans used to use, I don't know if they still do or not, but they used to use the turtle shells as a calendar.
I didn't know that.
It's really fascinating if you do the research on it, and that it is almost as accurate, or I say accurate, but if you will, it is about as accurate as our calendar, except that they have 13 months. Like it would have 13 months. It's really cool because every turtle, when you look at it, has the same amount of separations on the shell. And so it was like, you count how many, I might get this wrong, I might have to look it up, but you count how many of the bigger sections you have, and then you like multiply or something like that by the smaller sections that are on the rim. It's really cool.
Oh.
I thought that was amazing. It's just like, with all the smart people in the world, and I'm not saying that Native Americans are not, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when Europeans and Arabs and all these kind of things, you have all these really intelligent people that make more out of everything than maybe needs to be, right? And then you've got the Native Americans living off of the land and creating a calendar based off of a turtle shell. Meanwhile, Galileo is like trying to study the stars and the planets, and they're just like, we're fine. We just got turtle shells. It's all good. Like, some people just have it simple. Other people just complicate everything. When
give me a turtle shell calendar, I'll totally stick to it.
Maybe that will help you with your Twitch
that'll
streaming.
help
you
with
just
my
get
scheduling.
Get a turtle shell right on top of it. Steph's holding her brush between her teeth. Are you? Oh,
yeah.
Professional now. That's right. You've reached a certain level when you start painting like this.
Oh wow.
You'll start doing whatever this way, then you lean in with the other one because So when you get done with your turtle, we're going to let all of that dry before we add the details. And that's because we're actually almost done because we have our primary purpose of this painting was the turtle. Everything else is just accent. So once we get the whole body done of the turtle, we're going to go up a notch with creativity here. That's why I was giving you some time to learn the blending or become familiar with the blending process, because we're going to continue to use this 1/2 inch brush. And once we're done with basically we're going to create our flowers. And once we're done with that, we'll no longer need this brush and we're going to do everything else with the detail brush. So the way that these flowers are done is using the two-tone effect. It's going to be white and one of the other colors. Now, again, you're open to having whatever kind of colored flowers you would like for this project. As you can see clearly here, I've used red and white, and I've used purple and white. So I will rinse my brush off, pat it dry on my towel, and I'm going to start off with the red and the white ones because it's going to kind of create a little bit of pink. It's kind of hard to see, but there are little touches of pink. And the technique is going to be fun. It's a little bit advanced, but again, no risk, no reward. Yeah. And it should be super fun, turn out really well. It's going to be happy accidents. You never know. And you know what? It's under the sea. And as I was saying the other night on JT's program, it's like we were saying the ocean is still so unexplored. So anything could be living under the earth, the ocean. So no matter how our flowers turn out, but you can't tell us that they're wrong because we don't know for sure. That's how I like to view things. That's what I tell the kids when I teach them on my teaching platform, is just that, try to tell a story with your artwork. It doesn't always have to make sense. And sometimes it does help if it does make sense, of course. But it's just that if the painting is not necessarily going according to plan, then change the story. It doesn't mean that the painting's bad. It just could be from a different perspective. So that's what we'll do here potentially.
Oh, I got water on it. Oops.
Nope. Just gonna charge my iPad over here.
I spilled water.
That's okay. He's used to the water. It's all right. Would you be willing to hold up the turtle for the people in the back and let us see your progress so far?
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm trying to blend something out.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
It's not working.
People are just, chomping at the bits to see how's it going. What's it look like?
My blue. I accidentally got blue on it.
Oh, that's okay. You can make that work to your advantage as well. My goodness.
It's looking like this.
Let's have a look. It looks so good. That looks so much like mine. I'm not saying that mine looks so good, but I'm saying, like, you're following the instructions really well. It almost you said mine looked like watercolor. Yours looks like it was made with chalk.
Oh, I like that.
Which is really, really cool. I love that. This is looking fantastic. I'm excited. Look, you got me all excited. Because sometimes, I teach, but because I'm not actually there over your shoulder, being able to guide you with different things, I'm like, dear God, I hope it looks okay. I don't want people to walk away discouraged or anything like that. But are you good with your turtle? Are you ready for the next moment or portion?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that everything looks cohesive.
Absolutely. Just don't forget that a lot of it's going to get cleaned up with the details. So like I said, we're going to be doing the line work over here, and we're going to put some dots and of course the smile and that cheeky little glint over there in his eye. So normally I like to, when I teach the flowers in a class as well. And normally when I do this, I have like a practice sheet, but we're going to go all in today. That's what we're doing today. Like I said, we're going to be doing the two-toning. And so I'll just kind of talk us through that process while we we wait for your water to dry. Or rather, I guess you said you're blending things. But
Okay.
even with this small brush. So what I'm going to do is dip one side into my red and the other side into white. Let me go ahead and do that. One corner.
Red. Oh, I need red. Oh, red. Oh, here it is.
There we go. So we're making a nice like NC State
Oh, okay, cool.
flag here, just like so. Now it is up to you whether you want to have the white on the outside or the white on the inside. So when we make the when I say that, when we make the flowers, we're going to do this little swish movement. And on the red flowers, you'll notice that you can't really see the white, right? Because it's on the outside. Whereas if we look at the purple flowers, you'll notice that there's white towards the center. Again, no wrong way to do this. And if you wanted to, you could flip back and forth. For example, this red flower, you'll notice that there's red on the edges versus up here, there's white on the edges. So this just gives you an idea of what the outcome might look like. Again, I say might because everybody's going to do this differently. So this has to do with a lot with the rotation of the wrist. So a lot of times what I recommend doing is not starting like right in the center of your painting. We want to do something a little bit towards the side if we can help it. And feel free to rearrange the flowers as you see fit. This is what I have going on. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. Let me see if I can. Oh, don't get any vertigo there. Get a little closer here so we can see. I'm going to have the white on the outside. Okay, so I know I'm left-handed, so hopefully this translates well. I know sometimes right-handed. I assume you're right-handed.
Yeah.
Right-handed people have a hard time. Let's see if I can do this. Can I do this right-handed? Just for you, Steph.
Okay.
Right. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to have my hand here. I'm going to just go over to the side here. And what I'm going to do are these little loops. So what happens is that I'm going to be going up and down with my brush like this, right? And I'm also going to rotate my wrist as I go. So let me just do one section here. So just scrub is what it's called, like so. Oh, this is hard with the right hand. Like that. It's not very fancy. I did mess up a little bit. It's okay. I'm going to clean it up because I switched hands. But I'm going to go over it again. We just kind of scrub. Just make little motions like that. It's okay if they look a little wonky. You can always go over them again. Kind of looks like a little tail for mine. But once you kind of figure out how to do that, take your time here again. And you can rotate your canvas. That might make it easier for you. You can see that I have mine taped to my surface area. If rotating your canvas will probably be very beneficial for you. I normally would. But and then I'm going to make another one down here. And I'm going to make one at the top. Feel free. They don't have to necessarily be touching the turtle shell. And just basically make a fan.
Okay.
With these little swirl motions. Gives a lot of this little mermaid under the sea kind of feel with the vibrant colors. And again, any little mistakes, we'll just kind of cover them up with something. You can put some bubbles on here. We can cover it up with the black paint, whatever. You know, a lot of wiggle room. And R2, you say that every time I have a guest in here, he's like, Steph, how many times has Tabitha said you're doing it wrong? Never. I think I've only said that to one person. And then
Jay?
I was just like, and then I have to like retract. It's like, well, you're not doing it wrong, but it's really hard. Like, you're doing it wrong. Okay, and then I'm going to put one down here in the opposite direction. So, I mean, it's hopefully you can kind of understand the process. We're just wiggling back and forth and just change direction. So it doesn't matter if you're going up or going down. It's just, excuse me. So I'm going to do one down here. Just kind of looks like he's coming out of like the coral reef or something like that. If I ever get to do this, says R2, you're just going to yell at me in German the whole time. If I knew enough German, I might. R2, we got to talk. I've extended the invitation to after the weekend. Where are you? You and JT. But are they turning out okay? Are you mad at them, or they look pretty?
No, I got one of them looks like a blob. One of
Yeah,
them
that
looks pretty good, and then the last one looks like the best one.
yeah, more
That's
practice. Oh, that turned out
that's the
good.
blob,
Your blob
and
looks better than mine. Because that's because
that's
I
the
switched
blob.
hands.
I like this one at the bottom.
That looks great. You catch on a
Yeah.
lot faster than most people do. Because it's not, that is a little bit more of an advanced technique. So kudos, snaps for stuff.
Snaps.
Freddie Yankoba says, hello, Tabitha is thank you, such a great artist, and Steph is the most cool person I know.
Freddie.
So hello, everyone. Just tell us when and where.
Gracias.
Where? On the internet or two, but we'll figure it out. He says it looks good, Steph, and Jay says
Yeah.
he's eating tacos. I
I
wish I
want
was eating
tacos.
tacos. Yeah, right? It's tacos.
Why are you bragging like that?
Oh my goodness. So once we get that done, when we have a better idea of how this works, now we're just going to put some fillers in. Let me get my here. I'm just going to put some purple ones down, right? So purple is just made with green, excuse me, with blue and red. You can add a touch of white if you want to have a little bit of a lavender feel to it. But I'm just going to go ahead and mix. Let me bring this over here. I'm just going to go ahead and mix my colors. Here we go. A little bit of white. My little bit of magic here. Your turtle looks really, really good. Like I said, I always get a little nervous when I have my guests on because you just, especially if nobody has painting experience, or only the one time, or like most of my people that I've met or taught, they're like, well, I did this one craft in high school. You're like, gosh, that was like 30 years
no.
ago. So,
That's
but
how
I
I
mean,
felt. I was like, oh no.
that's the whole point, though. It's like, just trying something different, getting to know a person, and having fun creating something that hopefully they will like. So I got my purple here, and then I'm going to get some white on the edge. Let's
Is
see.
it the same thing?
Yep, it's going to be the same thing. And you can, this is where I'd like to leave it up to you for composition. Feel free to put them wherever you think they need to go. Once again, let me bring my original one here. You can see I only have it off to one side. I thought the balance was really pretty this way, but yours will be slightly different from mine. Please feel free to put them and however many you want, wherever. Dreaming Tabitha, do you make this kind of stream on Twitch? Well, I'm glad that you asked. That should be something hopefully in the future that I'm looking for towards doing. So keep an eye out. I do already have an account. I just don't have anything there. So I'm very consistent. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, now Twitch, anywhere. Dreaming Tabitha, Etsy, find me. Speaking of that, just go ahead and do a shameless plug here. I've got some new chibis in the shop. And you can find the link to my Etsy shop down below. Yeah, I just finished doing some Harry Potter chibis. Already made some sales. Thank you to everybody that supports the artist. But I've also got some Star Wars stuff over there, some Stargate as well. And yeah, go on over there. I'm now working on creating some of the professors and some of the villains in chibi form. So I'm working on Snape right now, and I cannot wait to start doing Bellatrix in chibi form.
Bellatrix.
I'm super excited about doing her hair and her oh my goodness.
You need a Bellatrix and a Voldemort.
Oh, yes. I need to. I do have some Ghostbusters where I did a pairing. Most of my chibis, I sell them singular, but I did do a Ghostbusters one where I have, and I did sell, but I have Rick Moranis' character, Lewis Tully, and I have Dana together when she's possessed, and I have them together. It turned out really cool, super fun. Chibis are just, I don't know, they're simple, but they're fun. All right, here we go. Well, I say they're simple.
I love the one you did with Ron with his wand broken. His face.
Yeah, did you? And I've got Scabbers by his foot. I don't know if that showed up.
I didn't see Scabbers.
But Scabbers is
I was just looking at his face.
Oh, let's see. Let me bring it back up again.
That's so good.
So yeah, Hermione's got the feather, Harry's got Hedwig, and poor Ron's got Scabbers.
Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew, right? Exactly. What a twist that was! My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
What a
Yeah. So
cool.
good.
All right, so once we've got our flowers there, I'm going to rinse my brush in my water here. Let's see. I drew Steph in chibi form, says Stunning and Brave Megatron.
You did. That is true.
I have done several YouTubers as chibis. Super fun.
I like your J Canadian Bear.
Yeah, that one was one of my best ones, honestly. I was like, wow, I could see the evolution of the process there. And so I'm gonna actually be opening up commissions for chibis here soon. I already had my first one, and it's just super fun. But all right, so I'm switching over to the detail brush. We'll notice it has a nice point to it right here.
Okay.
And something, let me push this back up a little bit here.
Record it.
So in my original one, again, you can do whatever you want. I just decided to add this little pink swizzle at the bottom of it. There's no wrong way to do this. So what I did is that I made pastel pink, really soft pink, and then I watered it down. So that way it's not thick. And I just kind of put basically like this shadowing underneath. I just kind of swizzled back and forth here and there. Again, no wrong way. It's kind of like a little scribble there. And hey, little Spidey, how are you doing? So let me just go ahead and take this. That way we can guarantee that the rest of our painting is dry. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some white, get some red, more white than red. Red is a very powerful color. And I really want it nice and soft. And then I will add some white. Some water. Because I don't want it to overwhelm the painting, you know, like this is just a nice soft touch. And I'll just start kind of here in the front. I'll do this with my right hand. I just kind of wiggle it through. And then I'm going to hold it back a little here and just kind of, again, no wrong way to do this. You know, my light. Here we go. And just kind of, it's almost like the water is reflecting something. And just kind of have some fun with it. This is definitely where I feel like less is more.
Okay.
But again, it's up to your taste. Let's see here. And I just kind of put it, you know, underneath the belly. It's also acting kind of like shadowing underneath. So it's not like the turtle is just floating in the ether, right? Mm-hmm. But there's something underneath, but without being too harsh. Like everything, you remember the Lisa Frank, like calendars and pencils and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of obviously being low key because this is way too calm and pastel for Lisa Frank there. But you know, just basically everything being colorful, kind of rainbow a little bit, so it's not so harsh. And just put some trails back here.
Brush.
Just a little something, something. Little Spidey, can you make me as a Harry Potter chibi? We'll have to see, little Spidey. You're an awesome dude. Thank you again so much for sending me that Boba Fett picture that you painted. I love it. Chibis are fun. So yeah, just a little something like this, nothing fancy. Like I said, if you would compare my original one to the one here, you could see it's very different, but still in the same idea. And it makes a huge difference if somebody's left-handed or right-handed, for sure. You know, also, you know, how you're sitting, if you're standing, the pressure applied, all of that comes into play. Now, what would you say is your all-time favorite game you've ever played?
Um, oh,
Or maybe I need to say games. Maybe it's too hard to narrow
I
down.
really loved Kingdom Hearts for a long time. I played that for a long time.
Ah,
And then like now I can just play Animal Crossing because it's just so relaxing. Um, but all the Animal Crossing games have actually been really good. But yeah, I can just play Animal Crossing.
going from
That
Kingdom
that
Hearts
that
to
type of
Animal
a game,
Crossing
I
is
sort of like stick it on and just chill and relax and
okay.
yeah.
I've never played Kingdom Hearts. That was for such a long time only a PlayStation game, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And I've never owned a PlayStation. So, I've always been like the first console we ever had was a Sega Genesis. Love me some Sonic the Hedgehog. Um,
Yeah, my brothers got into I did never really got into Sonic.
and then there was Super Nintendo. And then there was a huge break from Super Nintendo. We then jumped into the 64. And that is my go-to, my love for consoles, honestly. All the games that I ever got into. Super Mario 64, pod racing.
Oh,
I just recently got a Switch and I saw that they have those games available and I'm so stoked. Not only that,
you gonna do?
I am so excited. But not only that, I saw they have Knights of the Old Republic and Jedi
Yeah.
Outcast, games that I only thought would ever be on PC, and there they are. And I'm saving up. I'm like, I can't wait. I've got to have Super Mario 64, Pod Racing, Jedi Outcast, and Knights of the Old Republic. These are on my wish list. Hashtag Steph should play Modern Warfare 2023.
No. No.
Hey memes, gotta go fat. You're out there in Utah
I
still getting big brain, I understand, getting knowledgeable in things. And Dax Morgan says, "Hello, ladies. Just had to stop by and say hi to the most charming woman on YouTube and the prettiest smile on the internet." Well, that's nice to say to Steph. You get a big
Hi,
fan out
Dax.
there. Um, Little Spidey says, which is a question we had discussed earlier. Do you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Steph?
I do. Yeah.
How is your pink looking? Is it all finished?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, we're coming down to the end then. So I've cleaned off of my brush. I've patted it dry on my towel. Now we're going into the black. This is where it can get a little scary. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
Just get a little bit at a time. You don't want to have a lot of paint on the brush. That way it stays nice and pointed. Now we're going to do some fine line work, and we want to make sure that we hold the paintbrush close to the metal like so. That will give us much better control, and it's more reminiscent of a pencil, something we're familiar with. And we can start anywhere, but it just depends on how dry the flowers and everything is. I think we should start with the shell. It's a little
Uh-huh.
bit more forgiving because we don't want to mess up the face. So we want to get more comfortable with using the detail brush the way it's meant to be used before we do the face. That's the money maker there. So
Okay.
we're going to start off with something really simple. We're going to basically let me bring back my example here. And it doesn't have to look exactly like this, right? But the easiest way to start is this line that's right here that tells us where to separate that curved edge from the back of the shell. So let me put this back over here. I'm just going to start off basically wherever my blue starts and ends is what I'm going to do. So just take it. And again, I'm just going to drag. I'm not going to lift off and curve, just like so. Hello, Stan. He says, "Hi, Tabitha and Steph. Hope y'all are having a good evening." I know that I am. I hope that Steph is. She's
I
creating a
am.
fantastic turtle. It looks super adorable. I can't wait to see the end of it all. We're coming down to the last bits. If you guys are new here, please feel free to hit the like button if you're enjoying what you're seeing. If you've never been here before on this channel, and maybe you're just following Steph around the internet and you're like, hey, she's going to be on that channel, I'm going to watch. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you. I'm an artist here on YouTube. I like teaching YouTubers how to paint, and tonight we're doing a turtle for sure, but I've done several other paintings. You should check those out. All right. So, do you have this line? I don't want to rush you, so I'm going to ask
I
you a
do.
lot
I
of
have it. Yeah.
Okay. So then we're going to get just accustomed to the little lines here that separate the sections. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a curve to them so they're not flat, right? That also helps with the illusion of the curve. So just a little line with a slight bend. Nothing crazy, right? And it's up to you how many you want to have. We're not going by the calendar. Um we're not unless you want to really, look up on the internet and get really detailed. Memes says Steph loves turtles. I did a video on it.
You love turtles.
Which is why we're painting this turtle. I feel like this is like a Disney sidekick here with the color choices that we have.
So cute. That would be my Disney sidekick.
Your Disney sidekick. Here we go. Maybe I'll have to make Steph into chibi form and give her give her a turtle sidekick.
I would love that.
Might have to do the next YouTuber chibi.
All right, got my little man.
Okay, do you got all the lines and everything? Okay, cool. So the next thing is we're just going to be creating the little humps, the little mounds here. And again, there's really no wrong way to do this. So I'm going to start over here and we're just going to keep it really basic. I'm going to keep them fairly large, right? And just bring them down, kind of rotate them around the shell. You can change the sizes if you want to, but they're all going to be fairly large. Steph is mini size 9'4'9", I think.
I'm not that sure. I'm 4'11". 4'11".
And a half? Do I hear a half maybe? Or
I wish.
Okay, you have to. I know some ladies that are in the 4-foot region, and they will literally get bangs and fluff them up just so they can get that quarter
That
or
extra
that half.
yeah.
Okay, my goodness. So you're several inches shorter than I am. Yes, I'm 5'6".
I would love to be 5'6".
It is a great height. I'm not gonna
I would
lie.
love to be 5'6".
It's easy to find clothes, shoes. My mom is 6 foot, so it's always been difficult for her. And I'm like, I'm in the sweet middle there, you know. When I stream at the park and hold the gimbal, you can't see, just probably
No,
just see
it's just
your forehead
here. Yeah.
What does it say? Rasmain says, "Don't take Steph's 2 inches away." That's right. Show some respect, for crying out loud. So okay, we've got hopefully our little mounds right here. What's really great is that each mound, they're gonna have like that transition of color, so it just keeps the magic. I'm going to add little mound in between, like this. They're a little bit smaller. And that's easy to kind of just go in between here. Again, they don't all have to be the same. And then on this back one, depending on how yours look, I'm going to go towards the top. Like so.
Ooh, okay.
And kind of feel it, right? Just kind of feel it out. But then from here on, I'm just going to kind of make like these little stripes. Like kind of like what we did here at the bottom. Let me get some more paint. You know, I myself personally don't like doing lines. I don't like outlining and everything. It's not my preference. I like everything smooth. But every now and then it's kind of nice to have some contrast, that sharp edge with the black. It makes everything else kind of look bolder. But not only that, it just makes everything else look a little cleaner too, just because of that contrast.
Have you always painted? Have you always painted?
No, actually, I haven't. I mean, when I was a kid, we dabbled in it like most people do, for funsy. But we were artsy and crafty because my mom is artsy and crafty, and we traveled a lot because we were a military family, and then we were homeschooled. So, arts and crafts can be a little bit cheaper of an outlet. And we'd made homemade gifts for people because we didn't have a lot of money. So we got really creative with our arts and crafts and for Christmas and gifts and things like that. And then it's funny because I went to college to study photography and then graphic design. And I then ended up painting, but not in college. I don't actually have any formal education in painting. Everything is self-taught. So it just happens.
You're talented though.
Thank you. I try. It can be rough being an artist, but you can't help it. It's just, if it's who you are, you have to make stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
The
happiness, embrace it.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes, the darndest thing about being an artist, though, is that the thing that makes you happy makes you the most miserable at the same time. That capable gentleman is here. So good news. Saw a turtle today with drunk 3PO. Thought of Steph. Well, I hope you got it out of the road wherever you may have found it. I know some people, they break for turtles. I did not. All right. Lesson learned here. Okay. I was on my way to church. I feel like there was a sermon in the making, but I was on my way to church, saw a turtle in the road, did not stop. And I'm like, he'll be fine. Came home from church. He was not fine.
Oh no.
He didn't make it. I'm like, if I would have just stopped to help the poor little guy cross the road. And I was just like, oh my goodness, that got me in the feels. Like, if we would just take the time to help somebody every now and then, you could save them.
I've stopped to grab a turtle and put it where he's supposed to be. Usually when they're doing that, when they're on the roads, it's because they're mating. They're looking for a mate.
Oh. So, well, gentlemen, there you go. There ain't no mountain high enough that can keep me from, be a turtle. Be willing to risk it all for the woman you love. Wow, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a male turtle. He's looking for a mate. So I stopped, grabbed him, and put him in the there was a pond nearby, which is probably where he was coming from.
Right. Well, see, now I feel bad because on the way to church again, I did stop and rescue a turtle, and I put him on the other side of the road. I think that's the direction he was going, but what if I just caused a greater divide? But what if I took his chances away? Oh, great. Now I'm really gonna have to pay attention to which way their faces are pointing. So I know, okay, let's help a brother out. Like, okay, so do we feel kind of confident, ready to go for the face here?
Let's just do it. Let's go.
Just go for it. Okay. Let me bring back the reference so we can see. We'll start with the mouth. Okay. That way it's a little bit pretty easy, just kind of a curved line. We remember that's why we have this here. We're not going to start all the way out. Make sure you don't start all the way here. Start here where the chin meets the bottom portion of the face. But I'll go ahead and drag it inwards, pretty far in. There we go. Tabitha confused the turtle. I may have broken his heart. He'd be like, oh, I was so close.
I haven't seen the video, Jay. I know Jay sent me a turtle video. I haven't looked at it yet.
Freddie Youngkova says, okay, you're gonna lurk, doing some stuff. Looking forward to your video streaming. Tabitha, subscribe. Thank you. Have fun, both of you. My nerdy home.
Thank you. I am having fun. I love this. I love this smirk.
Yeah.
I love it so much. He's just like, sup, girl. He's like silent.
Yes, I see you. I crossed the road for you.
Yeah, I see
you. New merchandise in the making.
Knew it. I crossed the road for you.
If you know, little turtle on there with a wink. Capable gentleman says we saved the turtle from getting pelted by golf balls. Good. Oh my, he did get lost, didn't he?
Guy.
So this I'm just going to, I recommend here we start small because again, with this black, it's like it's forever. Once it's on there, it's really difficult to cover up. So starting small. So I want you to kind of gauge for yourself as well where you think the best place would be. But I know back towards, I'm using the smile kind of as a guideline. So I'm not going to start way out here, just a little bit in here. And I'm just going to create a small oval. Now he looks like a whale, but That's not the end of our story, but it's just a place to start. By the way, capable gentleman, did I not invite you? You said I'll be thinking of a painting that we need to do. Well, here's the
Ooh,
reminder. Here's the reminder.
get on here.
Be thinking about it. So, all right. So I'm just going to continue making this a little bit bigger because it's kind of like those anime eyes, chibi eyes. They're just so cute when they're big. But you can always, pause if you think that's too big. If that's fine, because what we're going to do then is, and I'll go ahead and do this so we can see, because I want to put some color into his eye. There we go. Almost done here. Just a couple more details that are going to really make everything accentuate. I know he kind of looks a little bland after all of this blending, but we haven't added the dots and the nose and all that kind of stuff. So that's all going to come once we get this here. Now, if you want, this to be kind of like a girl, kind of cutesy one. So my original one does not have eyelashes. Okay. We'll have a look at that. And then for this one, just so we can kind of see what it would look like. And if we want that, I'm going to add, she's the gal waiting on the other side. Here we go.
That's cute.
I put some eyelashes there just for funsies. And I will rinse my brush. Slow and steady wins the chicks, says Stunning and Brave Megatron. So now I have added a purple iris for the color of my turtle's eye. But again, it's up to you. If you think a different color would look nicer, I'm gonna bring my reference here. It's up to you. I think the purple for my turtle complements everything because it's not prominent on the purple, but it is towards the corner. So it just kind of brings everything full circle. But that's up to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix some of my, here we go, mix some of my color. You can have a yellow eye, a pink eye. Well, nobody wants a pink eye, but
no pink.
no pink eye. It could be blue, whatever you're feeling. No wrong answer here. And kind of like what we did with the black, just being careful not to smudge it. Just going to put a little bit of an iris here.
You put it over the black?
It's right next to it, adjacent. Oh. I know it's kind of hard to see right here. Maybe I should lighten this up a little bit so we can. Let's make it a lavender eye. Can we see that? It's a little bit easier to see.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. And then I want all those colors. We are going to add some white to the inner corner of the eye, but we want all that to dry because we don't want it to smudge. So take your time with that. And while all of that dries, we're going to go ahead and add all the details, the green or whatever color we have for our turtle, the little dots that kind of make they're not really scales, are they, on a turtle? I don't know. You're the expert. You tell me. What the skin of the turtle?
No, they're not scales.
Yeah, it's not a lizard. You can leave this here so we can kind of see it. It will be the dark color that we used originally.
Okay.
And
the lay down color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that slightly. I'm sorry, between that or the darker color that we used. I think because if I look correctly here, if we're putting it mainly where the highlights are, so I will use the darker color.
Okay.
I might have to recreate this here, and that's totally fine. Here we go. So will you be streaming tomorrow? Did you say Saturday nights is what you are planning on doing, or?
Yeah, Saturday nights I stream on my channel, and then in the morning I have the full Aussie. Okay. I'll probably end up streaming after this, actually.
Oh, okay.
Some more Hogwarts Legacy.
Excellent.
On my Twitch.
which again is in the description box down below. If you do not follow Steph on Twitch, you can. So I saw somebody was cow tipping in Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't know you could do
What?
that.
I didn't see that.
I don't know who.
I'm not that far. I haven't found like the creatures yet.
Okay, she was in some kind of field. She lifts her wand and casts a spell on this poor cow, lifts it about 6 feet in the air, lets it drop, and then the cow literally just rolls over down the hill.
Oh my god.
Hello, the lovely Sherry. She's got the flippers. So the dots, you can kind of put how many you are, but again, you want, but I recommend gauging it. So I'm just going to just put some little dots here and there. They don't have to necessarily follow a pattern, but you can if you want to, if you're a little OCD, you know, whatever. It looks a little more organic if it's a little off-centered and everything, but... And so I like I said, I kind of stick to the highlighted areas of the flippers, but on the back fins, I did not. Maybe I should have, but you know, change the sizes up if you want to. That just kind of helps. Yeah, so I'll just put some back here. Now, how is your YouTube channel different from your Twitch stream? Is it just gaming? Do you game on your YouTube channel?
No, I don't game on my YouTube channel. That's for like commentary and stuff like that. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to have a nice separation of the two.
Mm-hmm. Business and pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I like my Twitch to be like a relaxing place where I can just go and just, you know, just chat with whoever's like chatting in the.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's very different than like opening up articles and talking about
today's problem.
Today's problem. Yeah.
What Star Wars do now? Yeah. What did Marvel do now? It never ends.
There it's like a nice like place to relax and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I can see that. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and put my nostril, if you will. And that way you can see it later on. Steph is a Twitch gaming girl. Stan says, my daughter just started playing Hogwarts Legacy today. She loves it.
It's so much fun.
It seems really, really popular, despite what was the attempt made.
Yeah, despite the attempt, people love it.
Which again is so funny. It's like everybody's upset about J.K. Rowling and Hogwarts Legacy, but I don't see people storming the beaches of Orlando, you know, to shut down Universal. No,
it's easier to just complain on Twitter. That's why. It's easier. It's cheaper. There's really nothing. There's really no effort. There's no effort that you have to like put into complaining on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't have to spend any money. It's totally free. You can just put your opinion out there and pretend like you've
accomplished
done a good thing. Yeah. Pretend like you've accomplished something for the day.
Man, Twitter's exhausting sometimes.
I know.
I have myself noticed that I've kind of backed away a little bit, and I have kind of unfollowed some people recently. And you know, again, it's about whatever you want to say, that's fine. But just for my own personal peace of mind, I'm like, I can't constantly surround myself with people that are acting, you know, not that necessarily that they're always doing a bad thing, but it's just like, I have no interest in this, so why am I flooding my feed with this? So
yeah,
you know, just becoming a little bit more choosy with whom I follow. I'm also going to put a little band around the top portion of the eye here, just to kind of give her some, some extra, makeup effects there.
Cute.
Because she's pretty.
She's pretty.
And once you have all your dots and everything in your nostril, the last thing that we're going to do is add some highlights with white. So I clean my brush. And like Memes of Destruction says, it takes effort to be angry. It does. It takes effort to be happy too.
That's true.
Not gonna lie.
That is true.
Life
I would want to put the effort into being happy as opposed to being angry. Who wants to just wake up and just be angry at the world all the time?
Yeah, no. Exactly. Although I would say it probably does take a little bit more effort to be angry, because you have to be in search of something every day to just be mad at.
I think it's so easy because they live their life in constant victimhood. So it's incredibly easy to find something to complain about and be angry about. Why put in the effort to improve yourself? That's too hard.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. R2 says the only crime that Hogwarts game is committed is that Switch players have to wait until July.
Yeah, you have to wait until July. It's I don't remember why. I know that there's a reason, but I don't remember why. That's why I have it on PC, because my only console that I brought with me was a Switch. So
oh my goodness,
yeah, that's why I have to play it on PC.
Well, there you go. There's your reason to be upset.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some white here in my clean brush, and I'm gonna let that green kind of settle. I still want to make sure that all this white in here, or all this paint in here, is dry. So I just go in and dip in for a little bit of white, and I'm gonna add basically some highlights on the shell, so it looks like light is reflecting. So just a little swish like this. Again, totally optional. You can see what this looks like on mine. You do not have to do it on yours. I want you to be happy with what you created.
I like the way it looks.
Okay, excellent. Archie says, we riot. Great. Cancel Nintendo.
Yeah. Storm Nintendo headquarters.
That is interesting. I wonder why. Now I'm curious as to know why.
I can't remember why. I know Blabs told me why. I think it's like for next gen console or something like that. Or, I don't know why the Switch specifically.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say. I don't want to say anything wrong.
Yeah, of course, because you're our main source of information on this topic, and if you lead us all astray, there's no going back from that. You know how the internet is forever, as they say. So I'm just gonna, once I get my white down, then the last thing that we're going to do is just put a little bit. Oh, my white has started to congeal. Let me loosen that up with a little bit of water, not too much. And just put a little bit of white inside here. It just kind of makes the eye look a little friendlier.
Aww.
Yeah, like I said, it's little things that just kind of elevate it. And I heard yesterday that the new Zelda game will cost $70 and collector's editions will be $130.
Insane. Well, $70 is
pretty
not like out of.
I mean, it's like what, $10 more than what most games cost anyway.
Yeah,
thereabouts. So this would be the end of that. Once you've got that light, or excuse the white in there. Now, if you wanted to, just for a little extra cutesy anime effect here, you could take just a little bit of white paint, find a little spot inside the eye, and add a catch light. And I think that definitely elevates the eye a little bit more. I didn't do that in my original one, but let me lift this up a little higher here. And show the difference in my turtles. It definitely looks like a boy turtle and a girl turtle. Like she looking at him.
She's waiting for him to cross the road.
He's like, I'm coming. But Tabitha picked him up and put him on the wrong side of the love story that Disney needs to tell. But yeah, you can see that there are differences in my turtles, but they're still recognizable as turtles. And absolutely. And just sometimes the little changes make a big difference. Let me take off this tape here so we can see the final results. I like putting the tape on here just because it gives a little bit more of a professional look, but it also, since I typically don't paint on wrapped canvases anymore, I have canvas paper here. I need something to hold it in place. Here we go. Just a nice clean kind of image. It's simple, but it's fun and easy to do. Hopefully, I think it is, but yeah, that would be your turtle there. And hopefully, finish up as you, or take your time finishing up. It's no rush on your behalf. Absolutely not. Of course, as the teacher, I am always done faster, because obviously I'm teaching you the next steps.
Yeah.
Let's see, stunning and brave.
Got
Oh, hang on. He says, what is it? So, Steph, when are you going to start your draw nerdy with us?
I can't draw.
That'll be on the next
I
segment.
can't draw. I feel like my turtle shell needs like the butt because it's just like
It needs
I'm
what?
missing the butt.
The butt?
Yeah.
Don't know how you did that.
I don't know either.
I don't really know it.
I'm missing the butt.
Goodness.
There we go. Now it's a shell. Like it doesn't look it wasn't round. Okay. I finished.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. The grand reveal. Are you ready, everybody? Oh my goodness, it looks so good. I like your smile better than mine. Mine is definitely flirtatious. Yours is a lot more. Oops, wrong. That's not what I meant to do. Where are you? Oh, I accidentally removed you. Sorry. No, that looks super good.
It's cute. I love this turtle. It's cute.
Oh, I'm glad that you like it. They're saying, yeah, amazing stuff. They're saying it's nice.
Thank you.
Looks great. Absolutely. Say anybody can paint. You just need someone maybe to guide you along the way. Why are you lying, Steph? That looks awesome.
That's because Tabitha helped. I can't do it on my own. I wouldn't be able to create this by myself.
Oh, you can now, because once you know how to do something, you can never have it taken away from you. But yeah, that looks really fantastic. I'm so glad. So glad. They say, yeah, it looks cute. It looks so great. You can't draw, sure, Steph. Drawing and painting is different, I will say. Hey, noob reviews. Oh, I'm so glad that you're
I
here.
am a complete and total pop culture noob. I know nothing.
That was cute. I know nothing.
That's my favorite. Like, I had to snip. I know nothing. Hope that she's having a great day. She's been streaming as well, but playing like Pokemon and stuff like that. So pretty fun to watch. For nature's friendliest little creatures. Well, guys, thank you for hanging out with us and getting to know Steph. Maybe you learned something that you didn't know before. I know I did, because usually if I'm like watching Tuesday night's main event or something like that and Steph's on there, she's busy. What do you do? Like when you're not talking? Like I see you looking at something. I'm like, what's she reading a book or something?
No, I take timestamps of everything, of all of the conversations, what people said, because I go back and I edit those videos out.
That's a lot of work.
And I need to know. I usually like star certain things that I feel like will go well into the video, and kind of make my marks. What I'm going to edit this out. Took a big pause or something like that. But that's what I do. I'm taking notes, and I'm also taking care and keeping an eye on the locals chat. So if you guys, we always say like we're live on locals. I keep an eye on that while I take notes. So I'm constantly just going like back and forth between
You're like a secretary.
a whole bunch of things. Yeah. And then
Video secretary.
yeah. So if usually I can like sort of summarize what someone is saying before like they're finished saying their point. So when that happens, I look at locals, make sure that everybody there is having a good time. See if there's any memes on Twitter and then put it in the private chat. But yeah, usually
Oh, wow.
I'm
So
doing
you're
a
like
bunch of things at once.
producing and all
Doing a
that
bunch of
stuff.
things at
Yeah,
once,
my
yeah.
goodness. I'm so glad that came up because that was actually like one of my number one questions that I meant to ask you because I've just always been curious. I'm like, they just like, I see you, sometimes I see Krista, they just sit there, but they're not just sitting there. I see your eyes are over looking at stuff.
Yeah, Krista
What are
Krista
they
takes
doing?
care of Krista takes care of all the super chats everywhere. So there's like 1, 2, 3, I think four places where people can donate, and she takes care of that. And she has her own layout to where she puts all of that. So and that goes really fast, so she has to keep up with that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's why whenever they're like, hey, they catch us off guard and we're both muted, so it's like, hold on, let me unmute myself
Oh my
because we're
gosh,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you miss something, it's gone for
Mhm.
Well, thank you for sharing. And yeah, I hope you had fun. Your turtle turned out fantastic. Again, Steph said she's going to be streaming on Twitch after the show sometime, and that all her links are in the description box down below. Please be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Visit the Etsy shop
Yeah.
because
Oh
I
my
have new
God.
merch there, and so more and more will be coming. But again, yeah, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you all on the next video stream thing.
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video, and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining.